going?
Hey, Rickman, how are you? Well, Grace has been talking to me about a couple of things I wanted to run you by. Well, she told me about Mary Whitney's death, and she told me about how she died of an abortion. So recently, Mary Whitney passed away, and the way it happened was that she was getting an abortion, and when she went for it, unfortunately, there was a mistake that happened and she passed away. But I feel like this affected Grace a lot, and it may have played a role in the murders that she has possibly done, and I really want to go deeper into it. I want to figure out her take on this murder and not anyone else's.
That seems interesting. I think you're really onto something right here.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on with it, but I have a really busy schedule today, and I just wanted to drop by for a few minutes. So I'm going to be quick right now.
Alright.
Right.
Yeah.
It is cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy riverside which flowed be of sin and the double cure. Cleanse me from its guilt and power.
Good morning, Grace. How are you today?
Dr. Jordan. I'm good.
I noticed you singing that beautiful song. Why don't you tell me about why you were singing it?
I like that song. It makes me think of rocks and the ocean.
That's a really good sight. All right. Well, do you remember what we last talked about?
I believe we were talking about Mary Whitney.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about. Why don't you continue on with your story? Because I'd really like to know what happened.
Well, after she died, I gave her a proper burial. I sold some of her belongings. And then Miss Parkinson and Miss Honey weren't treating me so well. So I decided to leave. I worked for a lot of other people, and then I finally made close friends with Nancy Grace.
Do you remember whose house you worked at that time?
I can't really recall, but Nancy Grace really resembled Mary Whitney.
And how do you feel about that?
I felt like it might help me with the depression that was rooted from the death of Mary Whitney. And so I was asked if I wanted to come with her up to Richmond Hill and work for Thomas Kinnear.
Thomas.
I thought about it. There was better pay. I thought it was a better opportunity. And I'd get to spend time with Nancy Grace.
Mm-hmm. And does that require you to move away from Toronto?
Yes, I had the weekend to think about it. It was a long, hard decision. But in the end, I decided it was going to be worth it. So I left.
Yeah, I understand because that's probably your escape from the depression with Mary Whitney, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you moved to Richmond Hill. Why don't you tell me about your experience over there?
So, when I left, I was accompanied by a man who was a dealer in farm implements. The trip was uncomfortable and the journey was horrible. The mosquitoes were bad and the man was really, really crude. When I reached Richmond Hill in the late afternoon, it was kind of like a village. The man went to an old pub, and there I was supposed to meet Nancy. But the man, he got onto me. And that's when he just started really acting weird. He got it was really uncomfortable. And then there was this man, Jeremiah the peddler, and he helped me. He took me away from the man. And that's when Thomas Kinnear came to help.
And Thomas Kinnear is, who exactly?
He's the man that I would work for.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So he loaded me onto his wagon, and off we went. When we got to Mr. Kinnear's residence, I thought it was really, really grand. Mr. Kinnear was a gentleman. His residence paints such a clear and vivid image till this day. The property was really big. But I can't say it was as grand as Miss Parkinson's.
Really? Okay.
Mr. Kinnear introduced me to a man named Jimmy Walsh. He was a shy, red-headed young boy. He was ignored by Nancy Montgomery. And then there was another guy that I met. McDermott.
Okay.
I found him to be weird too.
And did that affect you emotionally?
I remember everything so vividly.
So what happened over there?
Well, the moment I got there, Nancy showed me around the place.
Show you around the place. As we go over here, these are the windows. You can stand over here and look out at the pretty view. How beautiful it is, isn't it? Isn't it really beautiful? As we come over there, your room is right down in the corner. Right over there. This is where you're going to sleep. And this is where you're going to spend your time alone.
Shall we go upstairs and look in Mr. Kinnear's room, Nancy?
Yeah, let's just go upstairs. I'll show you. This is Mr. Kinnear's room. You can see around here. Pretty sight. Look at the portrait.
Why is this woman naked, Nancy?
Well, Grace, Mr. Kinnear takes interest in his portraits. Shall we leave? Here, follow me. Let me show you to my room.
Yes, Nancy.
It's just right across the hallway. Right over here. This is where I stay. This is my room.
It looks really pretty.
Well, what did you think about that place?
I found it really odd how Mr. Kinnear had portraits of naked women. And I found it even more odd that Nancy slept on the same floor as Thomas Kinnear.
Okay. Well, tell me about the duties you performed while you were working over there.
I didn't do much, just the usual stuff that a servant like me would do. Same things I did with Miss Parkinson's. Cleaned the place, did the chores, washed the clothes. But what really struck me was, I really do blame the general upbringing for the lack of knowledge that men contained.